everyone, I'm Ritiki and you're watching Disney Channel. Okay, never mind. So, for the people who don't know me, I'm Ritiki and I used to make YouTube but that got taken down last year, so I haven't tried ever since. Today we are doing a February reading wrap up because I've started reading a lot and I decided if I'm going to start my YouTube again, let's just start with something I love doing. So I've got a list of book names here that I read in Feb. It's a total of I think 17 books, yeah. And we are just going to chill and chit chat. So let's get into it. So the first book I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. We have a main girl. She lives in a town where a murder happened few years back, and people think the murder was solved because the person who allegedly killed the girl committed suicide. So they think it's already solved, but somehow our main girl thinks that it wasn't solved, and she takes it on as her school project and dives into it to figure out what exactly happened. So the next book I read was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. Oh my god, what a book, what a book. It was so well written. I mean, like, wow. So there's a main girl, Addie LaRue. She makes this deal with the darkness that she wants to live her life without any resistance, without any restrictions. Darkness grants her wish in exchange for her soul. So basically she's living on forever. There's a twist with her wish, that is, every time she's meeting someone, the person will forget her, and she's been living her life like this for the past 300 years. She meets someone who remembers her. That's when the story starts. The next book I read was Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. This book is set in a dystopian timeline where there's war going on, and a main girl, she has this superpowers wherein if she touches someone or someone touches her, they die. She's basically locked up inside a cell, and she's been like that for a lot of years, and then someone comes and takes her out of that cell and they keep her as a prisoner, but after a time she breaks out of that too, and then learns in the ending that there's some secret society that's planning to take over the world or something like that. No, there are no spoilers in whatever I said. Then the next book I read was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. It was very emotional. We have two main guys here, and there's a service technology that tells people when, like, on the day they are going to die at 12 a.m. That they are going to die today. So our two guys get this call that they are going to die on that day, and they meet through an app that's specifically for these people who are going to die on that day, and they meet and we see how they spend their last day together. And the next book I read was All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. It's basically the life after the happily ever after. Apparently we see the story of a wife and husband, how they fell in love and how they are sort of falling apart now. It has two timelines, the past and the present. The next book I read was November 9 by Colleen Hoover again. So there's a main girl who is moving to a new city this day, like on this specific day, and she meets the guy on this specific day only, and they click off like so, and they decide to meet every year on the same date, that is November 9, and then we get to see their romance building up, and there's a plot twist, a very big plot twist. The next book I read was The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Oh, what a good read. It was a very nice read. It's basically enemies to lovers in a workplace setting. I wouldn't really call it enemies to lovers because they aren't really enemies. As you know, there's a very thin line between hate and love. So there's that. We get to see their journey. They're competing for the same job, the same promotion, and we get to see how that happened. The next book, or rather series I read, was the Off Campus series by L. Kennedy. There's like 5 books: The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, The Goal, and I don't remember the last book's name because I didn't read it. So I read all the 4 books. It's a hockey romance basically, and they are in college. We get to see a different romance in each book, so it's not like a one single story with sequel. It's different people, different romances in each book. And in the 5th book, it's, I think, the combined romance, the like epilogue sort of thing. I didn't read it because I saw very mixed reviews on it, and I didn't want to spoil the love I've started for this series. I love this series. I finished it in like, I think, 2 or 3 days. It was so good. The next book I read was The Addicted to You by Kristen Becca Ritchie. It's also a series, and like the Shatter Me, I don't know. I mean, I want to continue the series because I heard a lot about it. The Addicted and Calloway Sister series. I don't know, it took me a lot of time to continue the Addicted to You book. I kept getting in a slump, and I stopped reading it halfway and started a new book because I just couldn't read it. But then I was like, no, I want to finish this. I also read the novella of Addicted to You, in that's total point of view of our main character. It's called, I think, The Ricochet. So I read that also. I forgot to include that. The next book I read was The Beach Read by Emily Henry. I read The Addicted to You and Beach Read side by side because I couldn't concentrate on one single book. I kept getting bored by both of those books. And Beach Read, I heard a lot about it, and I wanted to see for myself what the hype is about. And I mean, halfway through the book I was very bored, but after the half I like got into it. I was like, I need to finish this, and then I finished it, and it was good. Then I read the bestseller She Wrote by Ravi Subramanian. I read this because I watched the show, the bestseller, which is on Prime, and I really liked that show. It's mentioned in the show that it's roughly inspired by this book. So yes, the next book I read was It's Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm probably not, but very well. It's about this girl or woman who kills her husband, like shoots him, and then she stops talking. She does not speak. It's been like 5 or 6 years, and she has not spoken one single word, and she is admitted in this psychiatric facility. And a main guy, he's a psychotherapist, so he goes to work at that specific facility, and he thinks he can get her to talk, so they start therapy together. The next book I read because I couldn't sleep at night after I read this was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. What a perfect book. Yeah, it's a second chance romance. They were best friends, and then they grow apart, and they are meeting again, and it's a very happy, not really, but it's a very cute romantic book. I really loved it. One of my favorites, 5 stars. And then the last book I read in February was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. And what happens is, our main girl gets in some problems, and so she asks her half brother if she can move in with him for some time, and he says okay. He lives in Paris, obviously, and he lives in this apartment complex, very flashy apartment complex. And so when she gets there, her brother disappears. No one knows where he's went. His friends, the friends in the apartment complex, and his neighbors, no one knows. He's not picking up his phone, not replying to any of the messages. No one knows what's happened. And this girl slowly starts to uncover what's happened to him, if he's really missing, or if something bad has happened to him. And she uncovers a lot of secrets which we get to know in this. and there's a huge plot twist in the end as well. Like, I was blown away. And this was it. I think it was like 17 or 18 books I read this month. I'm proud of myself for reading that many books this month. So thank you for watching this video, and like, share, subscribe to my channel please. ये वीडियो मत टेक डाउन करना, यूट्यूब हेल्प कर दो यार, सब्सक्राइब